Hi guys, good morning, good afternoon and good evening. I did just make a video. It was interrupted. I guess for a reason. You know, everything happens for a reason. And I was talking about, I had a channel message that I wanted to share with you guys. And I was talking about, I'll just share it with you. It isn't the most delectable flaps of the wings that get a bird into the air. It's the repeated effort of, no matter how unsavory. And like I just said, everything happens for a reason. That was my third effort of making this video today. I made a video yesterday and it wasn't here. It didn't feel right. It was about the concept of saying less and doing more. And we're brought today to the idea of maximum efficiency being preferred over perfectionism. And I don't know, maybe in those other videos what Spirit was trying to tell me is that I was trying to perfect something, a certain part of what I was saying, or I just wasn't being as raw as can be. Or maybe it was just the fact that, you know, sometimes we're forced into putting more effort into something in terms of reaping a successful harvest. And I'm not going to say it's the devil that is always the one to falter our plans. Sometimes it's God. Sometimes it's God. Sometimes it's God saying, you know, maybe you're going in the wrong direction with what you're saying, with how you're approaching something. Maybe I can, you know, give you a nudge. Maybe start it again. You know, because the more I speak to you guys in these videos, the stronger the channel gets, the stronger the connection gets. So every failed attempt at making a video prior to this, which is about, I don't know, maybe like 10 minutes of footage prior to this, all it has done is strengthen my connection with Spirit. In regards to this moment right now. So yeah, I guess the idea of failed attempts, the idea of perfectionism and only putting out our best work or trying to make everything so curated that you surrender the mumbles and grunts and silence, that unfiltered aspect of not only channeling messages but just life in general. Like, you can actually apply it to so much more than just these videos. I feel like a lot of stuff that we felt, I don't know, I guess burdened by, in terms of like failure, or just like having to exert more effort than we expected, having to accept that our expectation of something wasn't final, wasn't fact. That can be challenging. But yeah, this video is probably going to go in a lot of different directions, because I also wanted to talk about taking up space with those failed efforts. I guess it doesn't really have to go in many different directions. I think they all connect, and I spoke about this in videos prior. And I will continue to speak about invidious pride because everything connects. If you really want to get, philosophical about it, but taking up space, the internet has plenty. If, like me, you've ever felt like, you don't want to take up too much space, you don't want to take up too much time, I want you to get on the internet. And I'll tell you what, I want you to get on the internet because the internet has plenty of space. If that person is ignoring you, or you're getting the idea that they're tired of hearing what you have to say, or you don't want to bother them, you don't want to be a burden, get yourself on the internet. The internet will never get tired of you. You can post as many failed attempts, you can flap your wings as many times as you need to, and no one will ever tell you to stop talking, to shut up. Yeah, the comments might, but block them, remove them. No one can stop your action towards effort on the internet, because there will always be room. There will always be, I won't even say that safe space, because you kind of have to create that within a community yourself. But there will always be the safe, there will always be the space to create that for yourself. There will always be that chance, that opening, inviting you to step into it. Yeah. I made a video prior to this, maybe 2 videos ago, and I spoke about the fact that we're meant to be in many places at one time. We're not meant to be in just one place. And the internet, YouTube in particular, allows us to do that. We can be in, where could we be? We could be in the States, we could be in Europe, we could be in Asia, all at once. Thanks to the internet, thanks to the connectivity provided by social media. And we give thanks for that. Sometimes technology can just be, I'm guilty of this myself. Sometimes technology can be frowned upon, but you can't downplay its necessity, its elevation of the human experience in some ways. Because that can be argued, and I can argue both sides of that, I promise, but yeah. Yeah. What else did I want to speak about? Oh, yes, I'm reading this book, and if I can just find the page. See, it's these moments here, like, yeah, I wasn't completely prepared, didn't have the page number on the right place, but I hope you get what I'm saying. I hope I'm not, what I'm saying is not falling on deaf ears. Yeah. Let's find this page. Okay, let's see. It's called The Big Leap by Gay Hendricks. It is a really good book so far. This is on the chapter Making the Leap, and it's about the crime of outshining people in our own lives. And it ties in, it all ties in, and it ties into the importance of taking up space in your own lives, but where you cannot take space up for whatever reason in your own life, the internet is the place to do so. It says, a hex is often put on gifted and talented people early in life. The hex causes them to feel bad when they shine, especially bright. Why would parents hex children this way? ... He realized that the crime for which he had been convicted was being alive. And sometimes, can we just appreciate that? This book is incredible. But just appreciate that quote for a second. I'm being told to appreciate that. Thank you, Spirit. Yeah. Sometimes we, especially when we're young, we enable ourselves so unapologetically, it unintentionally dims the light of others. Or not even dims the light of others, but shines so brightly onto others. It illuminates their I really want to choose the right words here. Their kryptonic feelings. It illuminates their kryptonic feelings. It illuminates what they have buried within themselves to please those around them in some way, shape, or form. And so often we can find ourselves victim to those around us purely because they feel threatened by our natural light. And you shouldn't apologize for that. You shouldn't be convicted for that. But where you're not being afforded that love and comfort, where you're not being afforded that warmth that you deserve, that warmth that we all deserve, for embracing our true selves, for daring to be, please know that there are people out there like you. There are people out there that love you. There are people out there just waiting for you to rear your head from a hole that those around you have tried to bury you in. Could be your family, could be your friends, could be your community. Know that online, this gift that we have been given, this gift of international communication, ability to find people thousands of miles away from you, people that probably understand you more than those around you do. Embrace that opportunity, and don't let anyone ever tell you or ever try to convince you that you don't have a place online, that your voice doesn't deserve to be heard, because I promise you it does. Because I promise you there's somebody out there waiting to hear you speak. I think that's the message. I'm getting cold, you can probably tell. That's definitely the message. Thank you guys for bearing with me, for allowing me to be me. I love you guys. Have a great day.